Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel Flashback TNT. I'm going to continue my Nintendo 64 childhood journey in this video. If you've watched the previous episodes in this, I've got up to around 11 games now, so I'm halfway to the amount that I had as a kid. I had 22. I'm going to talk about 3 more games in this video and just explain basically my memories of them and what I enjoyed. So I think the first one I'll talk about, these were all bought for me around the end of 1998. I couldn't tell you the exact order I got which, because my birthday and Christmas are quite close together, so I can't remember which I got for my birthday and which I got for Christmas. So I'll talk about the sports game first. International Superstar Soccer 98. So if you're familiar with this series, you'll know I got ISS 64, which was released the previous year to this one. So this was a really good addition to my collection, obviously as a football fan. Again, it's very similar to International Superstar Soccer 64, but they just sort of improved a lot of the gameplay aspects really, rather than the graphics and stuff like that. There was still your normal game modes. You had like your tournaments and your World League, which is just the international teams, which I think was due to FIFA having the rights for all the clubs. And again, you had your international teams, but the names weren't the exact names of the players for the countries. But the way they worded the names, it was pretty obvious who was who, and obviously they looked like these guys as well. Yeah, so if I wasn't playing like a platform game or another action type game with a story mode, I will be playing this mostly, just playing the leagues and playing the tournaments, or the challenge mode actually is pretty good as well. I think Tony Gubba was the commentator. Does it say? Yeah, it says on the back there, commentary from Tony Gubba of BBC's Match of the Day fame. So it was he's always enthusiastic and he was quite enjoyable. I can remember I think in this one, I don't think they did it in IS64, and I definitely didn't mention it. If you do a dodgy tackle and the referee gives you a card, the player doesn't agree. The player goes a bit mad and starts waving his arms about, and I always thought that was quite funny. In general, the gameplay is a lot better than IS64, and that's saying something because 64 is a good game. So if none of you have ever played this, it's an updated version of that basically. And well worth adding to collection considering the price. I mean, it's very cheap. This a little spoiler is I didn't get the sequel to this, which was ISS 2000, which is meant to be even better, and I've never played it. For nostalgia reasons, I always stick to this one. Yeah, obviously, it's my favourite. So. But by all accounts, ISS 2000 is an even better game. They upgraded it again, which I can imagine they've done because Konami were on form with football games at this point. The ISS series into the Pro Evo series was fantastic. Yeah, so that's all I've really got to say about that game. It was one of those games where it doesn't blow you away, but as a football fan, it's always in the console. It's always getting played, if you know what I mean. If you're a football fan, you know what I'm saying. Now, these next 2 games are from the same developer, and it's a developer that really did Nintendo a massive amount of credit. Without them, Nintendo would have been more or less by themselves for like IPs and stuff, and I don't think they get the credit they deserve, even though they have a lot of fans, don't get me wrong. And these 2 games I'm going to show you are Diddy Kong Racing by Rareware. I'm going to talk about these games both together, by the way, so I'm just going to show you the boxes first. And another Rareware game, Banjo-Kazooie. So I know this one came out first. This actually came out on my birthday in November '97. and I didn't get it that year. I wasn't interested in this game at that time. I probably got other stuff. You've seen in past videos which games I got instead. And then this one came out mid 1998. So by the end of 1998, I was ready to add both of these to my collection. I'm not sure which one I got first. I don't think I'll have got them both for, like, say, Christmas, or both for my birthday. So I maybe got, say, that for my birthday and this for Christmas, alongside ISS 98. That's how I'd hazard a guess at that anyway. So I'll talk about Diddy Kong Racing first, because this as an IP, I can't believe this hasn't been made again. I know it was released on the DS, but this deserves to be remade, or at least remastered, or another game full stop. I know Rare probably aren't interested anymore, but what a fantastic franchise. And I've mentioned this first because Banjo, not Kazooie, Banjo actually appears in this as one of the playable characters. And anyone who knows this game knows, you turn this on, it just makes you smile. Like, the colours are so vibrant, the characters are funny. It's got that classic, like, Rare charm with the funny wit and the writing with the jokes and stuff. It's, you look at it and everyone's probably thinking, oh well, it's just copied Mario Mario Kart 64, which I didn't have either as a kid. Another spoiler, that won't be in my list. But the depth of this game is absolutely phenomenal. I've played Mario Kart 64 a lot, and it is great, but the depth of this game compared to that, it just blows it out of the water. Like, you've got your main story mode, which is actually like the racing mode, but you've got to complete the tracks to unlock, collect balloons and stuff to unlock the doors. So it's like there's like a centralized area where you can follow and open doors as you progress. And there's actually boss battles as well. And don't get it mistaken, like the QTR style of this, it is hard, and you've actually got to prove yourself as a racer and a collector to finish this game. Those of you who have played it will know what I mean. You've got to go out your way to collect stuff to then finish the game in first and win to progress. And it really takes a lot of dedication and time to get used to the controls, which are fantastic, by the way, as well. They're really solid and tight to get this game completed to the full. And it's actually in multiplayer, it's really good fun as well, because you can unlock like a battle mode as well, which is similar to Mario Kart 64, where you collect balloons, which will give you maybe like a rocket, and you can blow your friends up and stuff like that. And you lose bananas as you get blown up, and it's the first one to score, get rid of the opponent's balloons. But you can also play that in like an AI mode as well. So if your friends aren't around, you can play it and still play the battle mode, which is great. Yeah, so if anyone is looking to buy a game, I mean, this is still quite cheap as well, to be honest with you. A good little racer, but for something different, and it genuinely, like, the characters that will make you smile. The music is fantastic, and as I say, there's you can fly a plane, there's a hovercraft, and obviously your kart. So it's really good. There's a lot of depth to it. Definitely give this a go. I mean, I can still remember this as a kid, and it's still, like, if I remember, like, I remember smiles. It's fantastic. A really good game. I know some of you are a great fan of this, and it's still sort of a hidden gem, and it's a hidden gem because it hasn't been released in the later consoles, which is a real shame, because I think we're losing a great game there, a great potential of a franchise for sure. And yeah, the boss battles are pretty epic as well. So, having spoke about that and the characters, obviously Diddy, I don't need to mention Diddy Kong is the lead guy in that. You play Diddy Kong, but you can pick anyone. But he's the face of it, and what a great character as well. So I've mentioned Banjo, who in Diddy Kong is just a bit of a side character really. You can play as him, or play the mode as him as well. He actually got his own game released, Banjo-Kazooie. So you've got Banjo and his friend Kazooie. Now together they make a great pair, and Rare again have absolutely smashed this out of the park. Like, people would then compare this, like, platform action adventure game to Super Mario 64. And don't get me wrong, I am like a massive fan of Super Mario 64. One of my favourite games. I put it over this, but probably because it was the first game I played, and I'm being biased. Like this, I hold this in such like high regard as well. And to be fair, it probably is a better in terms of depth and I'd say like how it's been programmed, and that there's a lot more to it as a game. Rare really put a great effort into this. It follows the standard procedure where you have a job to do where you've got a main boss that you know you're going to fight at the end of the game, but to get there you've got to progress through levels, and to progress through the levels you've got to collect in this case jigsaw pieces. So you'll collect your jigsaw pieces, and similar to Super Mario 64 in terms of you have a picture where you put the jigsaw pieces in a picture, and that allows you to go into the main worlds. But there's a lot of other stuff to collect as well. Even you collect stuff for Kazooie. Now together, this pair, like Banjo, will have certain unique types of moves, and Kazooie does as well. So it opens up so much more in terms of what you can do on the level and how you get around the level compared to say Super Mario, who only has his basic moves. So it requires you to think a lot more, and I think there's a lot more like say strategy and problem solving on this game. You do have some puzzles, so it's definitely a step above Super Mario in terms of like it's not as easy to complete. That's for sure. I mean, when you think about the hours you have to put into these games in terms of on a cart, whereas today you've got like it's taken me 20 hours to complete a modern game on a disc that's like tens and tens of gigabytes. Like they managed to squeeze out like 20 hours of gameplay on a cartridge that small. It really is amazing when you think about it. Now again, this isn't really expensive. If you want to add this to collection, I definitely would recommend it. I had a bumper year, didn't I, with at the end of 1998 getting these two, because the amount of gameplay value in these is absolutely fantastic. And again, you've got the music. Each level has its own unique music, and it actually transcends into different areas of the map, the level map, and it'll change as you go along. But it's so slick, and again, really upbeat and in the moment of where you are in that type of level. So you'll have your snow levels and like your deserts and stuff like that, but the music really does match. And then you've got your bosses, which are good fun, and the random enemies in the game in the levels all match what the level environments. So yeah, it is really good. I'm just reading the back now. There's 9 huge worlds brimming with variety and excitement. Definitely, yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I would highly recommend anyone picks this up. It's one of those where you'd have to invest a bit of time to do like the game, because it's not going to be a one you can complete in a few hours, but you get what you put into it, and it will make you smile. It's a great charm to it as well. So yeah, Rare didn't have to. Nintendo a great solid there with these games that they've been releasing. I was really chuffed with this. This is the type of game that was right up my street after Super Mario 64. I cut my teeth on that, and then I got into stuff like this. And there's games later on by Rare that I got as a kid that you'll recognise as well in a similar vein to this, and I'll talk about that when I get to it as well next time. So yeah, fantastic. I mean, if you don't want to buy them boxed, cart only, they're readily available and easy to buy, so I would highly recommend that. So that's my games. Another 3 games for my Nintendo journey. They probably took me well into 1999 and beyond to play, like playability value wise. They're absolutely superb. So as ever, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.